Crazy Rich Asians is directed by John M. Chu and stars Constance Wu as Rachel. She's a woman who's recently started dating a man named Nick, and when he invites her to a family event, she realizes Nick has a lot which is stored inside which she doesn't know about. Particularly the fact that the family that he belongs to is really rich. I thought I'd quickly address the plot and then move on to talking about the rest of the movie because I think that's what people are more here to discuss, the idea of the film, more because of the cast and the crew involved. This is one of the first few movies made ever in Hollywood that has an almost all exclusive Asian cast. This is about 99.99% all Asians. There's like a couple of extras who are not. That's actually a huge step forward for representation. This is actually an interesting year in that sense because we're having a lot of that this year. Marvel just had Black Panther, which was 99.99% all black cast. And that was a huge deal for that kind of movie. And it was a movie that did very well. And I think Hollywood realized that representation is a big thing that people want nowadays in film. With Crazy Rich Asians, you are now doing that for a lot of Asians and Asian Americans. And that's a huge step. And I'm hoping that this opens a door for a lot more movies that are a little better than this maybe, because I really enjoyed this movie. There are some issues with it here and there, but this is a great stepping stone for a lot better movies and a lot more variety of movies in different genres to be covered. This film actually does have a lot of great things. For one, it's extremely funny. It's hilarious. There's got some excellent jokes. Awkwafina is really funny, and a reason I know about her is because of Ocean's 8. She was in that, and she was fine in that. Here, she's really funny. She gets a lot of great scene-stealing moments. Constance Wu is also fantastic. Michelle Yeoh, who I think everybody knows at this point, one of the best and most famous Asian actresses of all time. She is phenomenal as well. So that way it kind of covers its bases in terms of acting. One of the things that I have to praise about this movie though that cannot go unnoticed is the productions, the sets, the costumes, the cinematography. This is amazing. This is one of the most beautiful movies I've seen all year. There is a wedding sequence which is one of the most beautiful weddings I have ever seen. It also had the best use of Elvis Presley's I Can't Help Falling in Love with You since Blade Runner 2049. Some people are gonna call out this movie on the fact that it's showing only the posh life, as if all Asians are supposed to be rich. But what if you're not rich? They're not showing that. They're just showing you that there is this one family who just happens to have a lot of money and they're Asian. And that's another thing I really like about the movie. That is probably the nicest thing about this film. It sees that this is the case, that this family has a lot of money. The movie treats it as a very normal thing, which I think is a very important thing to do. Because this is one of the first few times this is being done in a film, it's important to make that very apparent to the audience. It shouldn't feel like as if this is some completely alien thing. It's not. It's completely normal. And I appreciate that. It's very amazing and very respectful, and I commend John Chu on that part. Also, the soundtrack's really great. It's a very good soundtrack. The songs are really well used. And if you've ever been to Singapore, this movie's great because this is all based in Singapore. You have a lot of great locations which they show. If you've ever been to Marina Bay, they have that featured a lot in this movie, so you'll definitely get some nostalgia value if you've been, or if you're planning to go. This movie will probably make you want to go more. As for flaws, the movie is not completely perfect. It could have been a little better. It's not the most original story ever. It's something you've seen a lot of times before. Some of the decisions it makes are slightly different from others, but reality, the movie, it's not completely, new. It's not amazingly unique in terms of the storytelling aspect. Also, the first half of the movie, there is a point about 30 minutes in, after a very good, strong start, where the film kind of lulls a little bit. For about 10-15 minutes, there's not much going on and kind of grinds to a halt. I feel like the movie could have shaved off a few minutes over here, because that leads me to my other issue with the film, which is my only other issue with the movie, is that it's 2 hours long. It didn't need to be. Could have been a few minutes shorter, I think. It could have had a little more streamlined a pace, and that would have worked in its favor. But as it stands, I still really enjoyed the movie. I still think it's a really fun time, and I do highly recommend checking it out. It's important to support a movie like this, which unfortunately is going to be judged by a lot of people in terms of its box office and the amount of money it's going to make. But even then, I recommend watching it nonetheless. It's still worth your time. I'm going to give Crazy Rich Asians a 7.5 out of 10. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. I'll see you guys at the movies.